line for the mayor to go and talk to
No,
I was units?
No, not at all. I was talking about the understanding and being respectful of passionate advocacy. But at the end of the day, again, and I was referring specifically to transit projects, when you consider that the transit projects that the mayor is referencing do not yet have a confirmed city contribution for them to get built.
Right, but the housing is $1 billion already. It seems already in, and they're running out.
So, and again, that's why I said I know that the minister responsible for housing has talked to the mayor. I know the premier has. I'm sure those conversations will continue. We understand the critical needs that exist in housing, and I suspect that there will be updates. But as the transportation minister, when I understand or when I recognize that we are literally investing billions of dollars today, more than 70% of all the transit investments that are occurring in the City of Toronto are flowing from Queen's Park to help support transit in the City of Toronto. To see that there continue to be demands for future projects when there's no confirmed city contribution for those projects is something that I believe crosses the line.
But the mayor was asking, sounds like you said initially when you said he crossed the line, you were referring to the fact that he was campaigning against Liberals at the door. Is that not what you felt was crossing the line?
Perhaps I wasn't as clear as I should have been, but I felt, and I still feel, that it's important that if the city is going to ask for us to come to the table to support additional future transit projects, which I understand and I respect the advocacy, that it's important for the city to have its contribution confirmed for those projects as well.
But Minister, the mayor didn't, I don't even think the mayor spoke about transit on Sunday. We're specifically talking about social housing. Like, I think we're conflating those two things, right?
So again, that's why I'm saying it's important for the mayor and the premier and the minister of housing to continue to have those conversations, and I suspect, in fact, I know that they will. But as the transportation minister, I want to keep saying this over and over again. It's really important for me to convey this. More than 70% of the funding that's being provided to the City of Toronto for transit is coming from Queen's Park.
Right, but Minister, the very fact that you're standing here outside the mayor's office after he spoke with the Conservative leader sounds like you are concerned that he's wielding a lot of power in this upcoming election.
No, look, and I said this a second ago, and I'll repeat it now. I think it's really important for us to be here today to make sure, particularly because the mayor was meeting with Patrick Brown, to make sure that the record is very clear that Ontario's Conservative Party has an abysmal track record when it comes to building and supporting transit in the 416 and in the GTA. We know that already. More than a generation ago, they killed the Eglinton subway. They cut funding for GO Transit. They pulled back on service for GO Transit. They told and then sold the 407. These are transportation decisions that have come back to haunt us for years and years and years in the city. And I wanted to be here today to make sure that Patrick Brown, who I know is working hard to run away from his own party's track record on transit, that he was held to account for that history.
And we're just live on CP24. Just to be clear, the mayor is talking about any future money for transportation, that was not included in the budget, and he's expressing disappointment, not the money that was already committed.
So the budget did contain $30 billion more for public infrastructure right around the province of Ontario. And as I've said repeatedly here today, I think it's critically important for the City of Toronto to step forward with money as well for these projects that the mayor is talking about. In the meantime, the province of Ontario will continue to invest more than 70% in the projects that are either underway right now or will be underway soon.
Minister, you used the words effectively campaigning against MPPs. That was Mayor Tory was doing yesterday. That's quite the charge, and I'm still not convinced as to how you're coming to that.
So my understanding, in fact, looking at the front page of one of the daily newspapers in Toronto today, I believe that I saw the mayor, unless I'm mistaken, I saw the mayor actually holding up what appeared to be a card that was targeting a particular member. I am correct in believing that was the case. I think, while I respect passionate advocacy, I've said this repeatedly today in the scrum, there has never been a better partner when we're talking about transportation in particular, but also across a wide variety of issues. There has never been a better partner for the City of Toronto than Premier Kathleen Wynne and the Ontario Liberal government. It's why we're investing more than 70% of all the transit projects that are currently underway or will be underway soon, and it's why we're going to keep working hard to deliver for Toronto.
Minister, why do you think the relationship is soured then? I mean, I think most of us here would agree that it seemed like the Premier and the Mayor had a great relationship, but maybe beginning with the road toll decision and thereafter, things seem to have really soured over the last 3-4 months.
Yeah, so again, I won't comment on the relationship specifically. I will say that we are at Queen's Park absolutely committed to continuing to invest in transit and transportation. It's why we are building projects in every corner of the city. It's what we were elected to do in 2014, and it's what we're going to continue to deliver.
Thank you.